Movie time with John DeSando and his friends online. So everything is gonna be just fine. From the top down to the bottom. He's gonna let you know if you should stay home or if you should go. Might even yell if it's a spectacle. From San Francisco to Long Island. 'Cause nothing's better than a motion video. Listen.
It's Movie Time. It's produced by John DeSando. Listen to shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And once again, it's Wayne Miller, the Elvis.
And it's movie time.
Yes.
I have to tell you that our movie today, called Priscilla, is very nostalgic for me because in my prime,
Yep.
I grew up with Elvis Presley.
Yep.
And my
Yes.
sisters grew up with Elvis
Yes.
Presley, and they were crazy about him. So the whole business about his wife, who was originally 14 years old and he was 24,
Yep.
is fascinating,
Yep.
and her life and death is. And so Sofia Coppola has put together a biopic that is just typical, like my love of Lost in Translation with Bill
Yes,
Murray
yes.
and Scarlett Johansson.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm so happy to see this because I have to review The Marvels later this afternoon.
Oh, all right.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Well, and right now, and to talk before I get on about Priscilla, just on the news this morning, they were saying how disappointing. I think that it only took in like 20-some million over the weekend. Very, very disappointing.
It cost $300 million to make.
Yes.
They
might
so
not-
far they got some
Might
70.
not really. Do you think? Yeah. I wonder if people are getting tired of those movies. But
You
I
think?
the one thing that I didn't get tired of with Priscilla, and it's funny, John, because I read several reviews this weekend, and they talk about how slow it is or whatever, and I really did not find it slow, and I think one main reason, I was just really, the magnetism of the young actress who plays Priscilla, convincingly so, you know, and to make her, I think she's 25 years old in real life, and I mean, she really looked like a 24-year-old,
Kaylee
14-year-old.
Kaylee
Yes,
Spaney.
and then I always got a kick out of her hairdo, especially when she was in her kind of almost like Tammy Wynette, a bouffant hairdo, you know, shortly after the marriage, and then later how natural she looked. And I had forgotten, John, that Priscilla Presley was on the TV series Dallas from 1983 to 88, and how really kind of a natural beauty she was.
Oh yeah, well, and Kaylee has done previous TV
Yeah,
to this.
yeah.
But she is, for me, unknown, and Elvis, played by Jacob Elordi,
Yes.
is also an unknown and completely different from Butler.
Well, that's the one I really, if any regrets that I had, was to see the Butler movie with Tom Hanks playing Colonel Parker.
Right.
And here, you'll see Parker's just mentioned.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yes.
A little bit more of the protected father figure of protecting Elvis's legacy and stuff like that as his father, Vernon.
Well, Coppola calls this Priscilla, and this is definitely about Priscilla. And in fact, some are saying that it was a strategic move on Coppola's part not to include Elvis music, but you and I know that they couldn't get the rights for any of that. But
Well, and also not to call Elvis and Me, which is the title of Priscilla's book that the movie is based on. And of course, Priscilla had a big thing to do with this movie, and as I think Elvis's granddaughter, that Riley Keough or whatever.
Riley Keough.
And I believe her mom, and I don't know if Priscilla, but I think Lisa Marie was still alive and was active in the making. If I have any regret, is not having seen that Elvis movie. Not only to compare, and I'm sure that.
Well, you haven't seen it, or you have?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay, no.
And I assume Priscilla is in the movie. It's just not the early years pre-Priscilla.
Boy, they're not as much as I remember, but that's a strategy that I use all the time.
What?
Because that is, if there's a book, I won't read the book before I see the movie.
Yeah.
Because you cannot keep from comparing.
Yes.
And I think
Yes.
my personal view is, this is a work of art by itself. And it shouldn't be compromised in any way by something, even a source. So I think you're in good shape, but you will like to see a stark difference.
Yeah.
Because the other is about Elvis.
Yeah.
He does a good imitation of Elvis.
Yeah.
And I love this guy's Tennessee drawl.
Yeah, well, you know, and that was one thing I want to bring up, his drawl, but also his kind of mumbling. You know, kind of sounds like there's a person that
Jacob Elordi, I think his name. He must be 7'5". He looks that way next to her.
Yes, yeah, I had a little tiny mite. But remember, John, and I had to remember the time that we were in LA, when you won the LA Press Club award for your radio show. And we went to the Beverly Hills Hilton for drinks or whatever with your son Eric.
Yeah.
And Priscilla came in.
That's right.
And we saw Priscilla, and I thought, oh my God, you talk about, what's the expression? Rolled up hard and dried out wet, you know, something like that.
She did look weathered.
She did look very weathered. And God love her.
Wasn't she coming with an entourage? Typical.
Yeah, you know, and kind of, you know, how she was acting kind of snooty. But anyhow, back to the movie though. I really liked it. I thought it was very interesting.
I'll tell you what, you know what, one of the really interesting things to me about this was, I am always fascinated by the fact that he was 24 and she was 14 when he had his eye on her.
Yes.
And trying to understand the psychology of that. I think Coppola hit on some of the right notes.
Yes, that he felt comfortable talking with her rather than all the starlets and all the groupies that were flinging themselves at him.
Yeah.
And there was something there, but also it really kind of, I think, Elvis's part explored his immaturity, his emotional immaturity, and
well, he was still a mama's boy, even though his mom was dead.
Oh, definitely.
And that's one of the things that he loved about her. He could talk with her.
Yes.
And to add to what you're saying, is that he even tries to make her over into himself.
Yes.
See, the black hair.
Yes.
And then he puts the spider web design on her eyes.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Well, and he really kind of took control of her, and probably that's what he was looking for too, because how he was being controlled in his life. As you say, a mama's boy controlled in that aspect, but also controlled by Vernon, his dad, as well as Colonel Parker.
Right.
And so this was just like his little plaything, you know, in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like the Dracula movie we saw, and he brought for snack purchases on the ship a young girl, and so that's in a way kind of reminded me.
But you're and I'm thinking now about her performance, and I'm thinking now about how she's not like a rabid teen.
Right.
You know, she's
right.
Coppola takes her very slowly, and that's why people complain.
Yes.
But you very slowly, you see the progression till she eventually realizes that she's got to get out of here.
Well, and one of the things that they really downplayed, they were obviously Elvis was having a number of affairs. But so was she, and supposedly with that karate instructor that you saw a little bit of.
Good for you.
Also,
because Coppola did not tell us
No, and that's where I think Priscilla's influence in the production of the movie. That maybe
that's a great point.
Sophia, you know, did not highlight it as much because still keeping Priscilla involved, you know, in the whole production of the thing, you know, and giving the stuff, which is in a way it was a cop out for Coppola, you know,
nice.
Not to show.
All right, now people are going to obviously. I can even hear the phones ringing now in the general manager's office about wanting more, and they know we're getting toward the end of the show.
Yeah.
So I want to remind them that they can go to Back Talk and they can hear our they have to go to the WCBE podcast experience
Yes.
to hear
Yeah.
about it, and we have another 20 minutes to
Oh,
go.
and you know, John, you'll have to stop me because I believe that I could fill that, because one of the things, original thoughts over the weekend, because one couple of the reviews really kind of highlighted, well, as you say, Lost in Translation, but also a couple was Marie Antoinette.
Oh, yes.
And so it
Virgin
got me
Suicide. Now, we're gonna
thinking.
do that. Stop it. See, I can't stop you.
I know,
We're
I
gonna
know,
go
I
into
can-
back talk.
I get
So
kind
I
of
need you
excited.
to tell
on
the
my
audience,
own.
before I cut this off, I need you to tell the audience what,
I
you
would
know,
recommend.
what they should, what do you recommend about
I
Priscilla?
would recommend it, and especially anybody who is followed, and particularly recently with Lisa Marie's death, but has followed Priscilla's journey and that whole drama, but also fans of Elvis.
It's movie time with John DeSando and his friends online. So everything is gonna be just fine. From the top down to the